Welcome back, duelists and dungeon crawlers alike. It's Friday, so happy Friday. We're almost at the weekend. I've got a new thing I'd like to talk about as far as how we can add the Spellbinding Circle to D&D. I want to show you guys an update on the paint job we did for that Iron Golem figurine so that we could use that as either A, the Gatekeeper, which was a card I actually had extras of, that could show off like what you would have as far as sort of like a mechanical construct, or one that's I think just a little more imaginative towards the whole realm of Yu-Gi-Oh. Could have been the Giant Soldier of Steel. So a lot of things. I'd like to start with number one, moving my dice off the table onto the mat so they don't clatter. Two, I'd like to talk about it was sort of like a failed channel because like it was on there for like a month and we didn't really get any subs. Like when I shut it down, there was just one that I was aware of, and that had been my wife. So like it was the only one. So along those lines, we did a series of box openings for figurines to expand one's collection, and I thought maybe we'd take like next week and maybe just take a beat and watch those since they never actually made it to the channel. They were just recorded and never uploaded. So if you guys like D&D stuff and you like miniatures, maybe check it out next week. It's all, there's some Pathfinder stuff. There's some like Van Richten's, Tyranny of Dragons, Spelljammers. It's a lot of cool stuff. And we will eventually use those figurines as well for the Yugi-DnD. So that's cool. Second, let's talk about our Iron Golem. So this is, let's take him off of here. Sorry, when I paint, I take these little, these are for like doing body work on cars. These are for moving like the Bondo around and everything. And what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of Scotch tape and I like to tape my figurines down so that we can go ahead and like you can manipulate them, you can have them upside down and everything. You do all of the things, but this is what we ended up with. Again, I painted it once, I aged it with a tone. I'll show you all the stuff that I used, but this is this is how mine came out. And again, I think he's good. I like him. I'm gonna enjoy using him as a boss character for many, many times to come, because again, he's like a challenge rating 16. So unless you're willing to lower the challenge rating, it's okay. Here's what the suggested look was on the back of the card, because I do keep the cards partially as reference. But it was pretty cool. And so like the paints we ended up using, I use the Army Painter set. The first thing I did was I took their gunmetal paint and I literally slathered the whole guy. So that was cool. And then after that, I took some strong tone, and this is one of their washes. And I basically just applied this all over the character, which is how we get like a dirty gunmetal look. And then when it came to parts like the shoulders, this portion and this portion of each knuckle, the legs, again, it wraps around through to the back. What I did there was I actually took their metallic paint for the rough iron, and that's how I set the two metals apart. I didn't want it to look too shiny from the gunmetal. I wanted it to be more aged. This way it was more believable as being iron. Whenever I paint bases like this and do the footing, I always do it last. So like any drip, any extra brush stroke that goes down at the bottom doesn't need to be tidied up till the end. I tend to use their dark stone paint for that. And then to seal it all in, I use the anti-shine matte varnish. And again, it makes it look a little more dull. It looks like most of the regular figurines when you buy them. But like if I did the gloss, it would actually it would look wet still. So like the metal would have more shine to it instead of like a dulled out luster. And again, with an Iron Golem, I feel like this was the right choice. So you guys let me know if you like the paint job or not. Again, It's not going to bother me if it's negative on that. Everybody has their own preferences. Maybe you wouldn't have liked me to make all of that metal as dirty as I did. And that's that. But today's video is supposed to be mostly about how can we add the spellbinding circle and similar traps to the game of D&D. So realistically, this is going to be like a DM's toy. As a player, you should not be given one of these. And it's pretty simple. So anytime we want to put a trap, the same way that some DMs might put like a lethal trap somewhere or something that causes stun, this could be used in place of stun. Since it is a spellbinding circle, it can be dispelled, it could be destroyed. And as a DM, you can also choose to give it a time limit or make them do like a dexterity save. So let's say they were tampering with a door that they didn't have the right key for. This thing pops out. It's going to stun somebody. You might have that player go like, yeah, give me a dexterity save, would you? So they roll, they get their 13. And, plus their dex, maybe they break the 15, but you knew they weren't supposed to be there, so you set it like a 15. You'd be like, okay, you dodge it, or you could just be like, oh, you just get caught in it. It's going to take, X amount of time in game, like maybe 5 minutes for it to wear off. Or again, somebody may have a spell that allows a disenchantment or to neutralize enchantments, at which point you could do that. Could work from treasure chests, doors. You could literally have it set up anywhere. But since it is a spellbinding circle and it is more of an enchantment along those lines, I would place this more or less anywhere you have a magic user. So it doesn't make so much sense to have this in, say, an Artificer's dungeon where the Artificer's the bad person, or the BBEG, or the purpose of the quest. It also doesn't make sense to have it somewhere where you would have something that's more naturalist. Like, let's say there's a druid. A druid would more or less use something like vines to capture you. And this would be more of the mystic variant. If you were to use another card, again, it's over there, and I don't want to pause just to go grab it. It's Shadow Spell. It's essentially the same thing. It causes a loss of, I think it was about 700 attack points. But it looks like a bunch of chains coming out of nowhere. That could be a nice physical one. That could be something where you could say like an artificer or somebody who works with animating things like golems. Like golems could have totally made those as well. But not the Fiendish Chain, but the Shadow Spell trap card with the chains could in fact be something along those lines. If you were going to use something like Fiendish Chain, you might also silence whoever is currently ensnared within your trap card. So again, there's a lot of ways that you can go about this. And as a DM, you really have to pick. You gotta decide for yourself. So you might just roll a d6 and go like, okay, cool. He's gonna take a 5-minute timeout, and they don't need to know why you're rolling. But again, this could be like a dexterity save. This could be a wisdom save. You're smart enough to get out of the way, get a little 18, so you're probably gonna get out of that one. Or you can make a check against it and have it just be an auto snare. So they have to make a wisdom save while they're in it. And it's more, I guess it wouldn't be a save at that point, would it? You just basically just go like, okay, well, you're going to give me a wisdom check to see if you can get out of it. At which point it would be like, oh, you notice that one spot at the circle seems a little weak, and you go towards that, and you're able to break the spell that way. So definitely let it be creative for the players to figure out how to get out of it. But feel free to use traps that are this and very similar to this to do things to snare the opponents. And again, if you use these more often, maybe give your players the chance to trick the NPCs into getting ensnared in one too. Because again, it's a game, it's collaborative storytelling, it should be fun. You guys should definitely all be having fun with the game, and it makes sense. So that's that. If you guys enjoy this, go ahead, support the channel, like, comment, subscribe if we've earned it. And like I said, we're going to take some of the days. I'm going to give you guys a regular, like, non-Yu-Gi-Oh deck on Monday still. But the rest of the days for the week, for the most part, is going to be the openings that me and Celestial taped. Opening figurines for D&D. So hopefully we didn't cuss. I don't think that we did. If we did, it's going to be very minor, very brief. And we just hope that you guys enjoy it, okay? So you guys have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest, because this is Friday. Enjoy the rest of the weekend that we're leading into. And hopefully you guys enjoy all of the content to come. So till then, see you later.